Hello, all. Welcome to another episode of Cocktail Hour. I'm Andy.
And I'm Sherry.
And I'm Colette.
See, the gang's all here. Aren't y'all happy?
So happy.
It's, what is this, March? Oh, my God. This time is just flying. It's ridiculous. We're going to be chatting about, and I'm trying to pull up an Audible. I know the book is In the Garden of Spite, but I don't have the author's name. What?
Wow. Did we lose Andy?
No, she's here.
Camilla Bruce.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I can hear you now too. Yay.
Mercy, us and our electronic.
I don't know what that was because I don't think Andy went anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay. It was me.
All right. Be that as it may, I found the information. We are going to talk about In the Garden of Spite by Camilla Bruce. So it should be a lively discussion. I finished it about an hour and a half ago. And so, me and my memory, it's burned in there. It's, right there, right in the front, right in the front.
Is it? Okay. I finished it this morning. That's really all I'm going to say about that. Colette, did you finish it or did you?
No, I
didn't figure you would.
Wow. All right. Well, before we get into it.
I tried. I set it aside and picked it back up multiple times before I reached a point where I was like, you know what? Life is short. We're all going to die in this pandemic. I'm not going to waste however many hours are left when I could be living.
Oh my God, so funny. So before we get talking about this, because clearly it's going to be lively. What's everybody drinking? What you drinking, Sherry?
I have some black cherry flavored water.
Oh,
it was the last minute. I forgot we were supposed to have a tasty beverage for the cocktail hour.
Right, right.
Yeah. So that's what was on the counter.
It was tasty. It was on the counter. What about you, Colette? What you drinking?
Rum on the rocks. Have you guys ever tried bamboo?
No.
It's amazing.
Hold that up again. I want to see what kind of glass is that?
Oh, it's
Kraken?
It's a Kraken glass.
Oh, I must have a Kraken glass. I love that.
If you can see,
I love
Kraken. And it's got the Kraken, and it looks like he's taken down the Empire State Building.
Oh,
he's big. He's big. So yes, I'm kind of cross merchandising because I'm having my bumbo in a Kraken glass, but so good.
So it's just straight rum with ice is what you got going over there with some limes?
No lime or anything. I'm just drinking it. It's really good. You
are hardcore. I love that. Hardcore.
What are you going to be doing shots of today, Andy?
Well, well, I can, but actually, I'm having a tasty, what the hell flavor is this? Grape acai water and my University of Miami cup. Because,
is there no alcohol in there?
No, there's no alcohol in here, but I can. What shot you want me to take?
It's not necessary.
Look, I got lots to pick from.
I don't know. Do you have a nice rum? You have a nice rum, I understand.
I do. I got one for the holidays.
That's right. So maybe sip on some of that, at least for the first half hour or so.
This is the delicious rum I got for the holiday. I don't know if you can read it. My lighting in here sucks ass.
No, I can read it. Kahana. Yeah.
Let me get a shot glass. Because God forbid, I don't want to drink out of the bottle like some stew bum.
I mean, at least put it in like a brown paper bag before you do that, right?
Yeah, but it's too pretty of a bottle to do that.
How does Jack Torrance say it? That's an old stew bum trick. I love that. That was a good line. But he said it when he's kind of drunk. That's an old stew bum trick. Love it. It's awesome.
Okay.
All right, here.
I would love to take the damn cap off, seriously. What the hell? I haven't even started drinking yet. The work I have to do on the patio may be waiting after I drink. Just saying.
It might be time for ordering dinner.
So there is a link to the rum that I have pasted into the chat.
All right, good. See, y'all don't get to see that. Maybe share
I'll put it.
link or something.
Yeah, I'll put it in there.
Oh my God, it smells so good.
I shall put it right there.
Super.
This shit's delicious. It's so smooth. It's not even like drinking alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, because it's from agricole, so it's from the sugar cane instead of from molasses.
Oh, so good, so good. Y'all, if you can afford it and get it, get it. I highly recommend it. It's delicious.
I almost started drinking again on Monday.
Oh yeah? Did you read it because of the book?
No, that was I considered drinking mid-afternoon because of the book yesterday, but
Oh Lord.
no, I had more car issues, but it's all fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine.
Okay now? Good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Do we want to talk about the book now?
Sure.
Yeah. So I've got the blurb pulled up, unless you want to read it.
Nah, go ahead. I'm drinking.
I don't remember the blurb. So I picked this book up off of NetGalley. When it came out, before it came out, I think. I can't tell when it came out.
When was it released?
Oh, January.
Yeah, so like
January 19th.
Just came out.
It just came out. So
we should probably, I was going to say we should probably make sure that we don't have spoilers, right? Because this is a really new book for us to do.
It is.
Yeah, it is, but it's
also about
based off of a
also about a serial killer. So it's kind of like when you pick up a novelization about the Titanic.
Yeah, exactly. Same
kind of probably already know.
Yeah, and if you don't, it's not a big deal because there are a million documentaries and podcasts.
Oh my God, YouTube.
There are other books. Yeah, there are other books and stuff that you can find about it. So I think it's fine. Okay, so an audacious novel of feminine rage about one of the most prolific female serial killers in American history and the men who drove her to it. They whisper about her in Chicago. Men come to her with their hopes, their dreams, their fortunes. But no one sees them leave. No one sees them at all after they come to call on the Widow of La Porte. The good people of Indiana may have their suspicions, but if those fools knew what she'd given up, what was taken from her, how she'd suffer, surely they'd understand. Belle Gunness learned a long time ago that a woman has to make her own way in this world. That's all it is. A bloody means to an end, a glorious enterprise meant to raise her from the bleak, colorless drudgery of her childhood to the life she deserves. After all, vermin always survive. Okay.
It took it all out of you, didn't it? Now you're just like, I'm done. I can't.
I'm spent.
That's awesome. All right, I'll start.
Okay, great.
I don't think there's a lot of folks that know personally about Belle Gunness, except for what they've pieced together as to what her crimes.
Can I say that I had never heard of her before this?
Really? I had not either.
And I have read my share of true crime.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm pretty up on certainly serial killers. But yeah, I guess because this was so long ago, right? Started in the 19th century.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had no idea who she was.
I didn't remember until later that Andy and I had talked about another book, Hell's Princess, that I kind of wish we would have picked instead.
Well, this book definitely has the better title of the two.
It does, yes.
Right? The Garden of Spite is way better than Hell's Princess.
For sure.
But I think I think the Hell's Princess is an actual
nonfiction
biography. Yeah, by Harold Schechter, I think is his name.
I am not a Harold Schechter fan. Seriously, he can't get
What
out
else
of his
did you read by him?
What haven't I read by him? I think I read 2 or 3 this has been a few years ago, but I don't know if it's his pacing, his language. There's something about his writing that just turns me off. And I know he's very well acclaimed. But
it's funny then that you've read several things by him.
Well, because I wanted to. I was interested in the topic.
Sure.
Right.
I assumed if I could just get past him and try to just myself in the story, I would learn some new things. I quit though. I think I read 2 or 3, and I don't even care if it's the best, awesomest subject I ever want to know about. I'm not picking up another book of his. Just not. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, then I'm glad we didn't pick that one, but we did pick this one.
Yeah,
and,
but
I'm kind of sorry that I subjected the two of you. And honestly, real quick, I kind of wish that I would have just stuck to reading it with my eyes, because the narrators were fucking awful.
Me too.
Was it 2 different women?
Yes, 2 equally bad. The one that played the sister sounded like she was near tears every fucking sentence that she uttered.
I mean, look at her life.
And then Bella went in, oh, maybe she would save the children. I served tea and some chicken. and the dudes from the other narrator, this is how every man sounded. Well, Bella, I don't know about you, but I think the cows need to be milked.
You know, there was a point where Laura came in while I had this playing, and she like propped her foot up on the desk and was like, so. And she did like the male voice perfectly, and it was hilarious and creepy. At the same time.
That sounds kind of creepy. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was.
It didn't matter who the man was or what his role was.
Or
it was all the same.
Who was narrating it at the time, right? Because so some of the chapters are from the point of view of Belle, the serial killer.
Right.
And some are from the point of view of her sister.
Nora.
Which is why
Nellie. I'm glad you just finished the book an hour ago.
Which is why I wasn't 100% certain that it was actually a different narrator. I thought maybe she was just doing a Nellie voice, and then but
nope, 2 different people. Okay, so
they both do men's voices the exact same way.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. That is very You hear my neighbors?
No.
Oh, well, thank God. They're playing some music over there, and the bass is so loud I can't boom, boom.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay.
I have hearing issues, so.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll say then you'd be fine. I think I would have had a better experience with this story if I'd have read it with my eyeballs.
Yeah.
I really some of the pacing, I think, was a little bit off. Like, she belabored a point like it's the same, and I understand you're showing a pattern of behavior, but sometimes it was like, okay, get out of your own way, let's move along.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Yeah,
just rehashing the same shit, like somebody eating something. I mean, and it was the most mundane shit that they kept going on and on about.
Yeah, and I'm sure there was this underlying idea of trying to show the listener or the reader that, you know, for these people are trying to also survive in this particular, you know, era where it's not always easy. You have to make sacrifices, or you sometimes have to make choices that are not all that great. Of course, Belle took it to the next level. So I think the author is trying to give you a flavor, right, of the time. But it was a little much.
Like, this could have been really good, right? Because so it starts, the main character, the killer, is still in her home country of Norway. Her older sister has already immigrated to the United States and is living in Chicago with her immigrant husband. In basically what sounded like you know, a little Norway.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
In the way that we have Little Italy and Chinatown, and so everybody in this part of town is from Norway, and they all still speak Norwegian, and that's where all the immigrants are. And so the main character finds out that she is pregnant by the son of the local, are they farmers?
Yeah, the farmer that she actually is in service to is
Right.
in the
So
kitchen or
so she thinks, oh well, he's just gonna have to marry me.
something. Mhm.
Although he does not think that way, turns out. So he beats her until she miscarries, and she kind of stumbles back home and is bedridden, and you get the sense that there's infections that happen, and ultimately she becomes sterile because did they ever call a doctor?
I don't think they did. Mm-mm.
So I think she has reached the point where she's like, yeah, I got to get out of here. This life sucks. Her father is abusive. And she has decided that she is going to write her older sister and see if there's a way that she can immigrate and have a place to stay. But in the meantime, she decides that, well, he's just going to have to pay for what he's done.
And she's very methodical about it. She waits and waits and waits until everybody is forgotten and he feels safe in her presence.
And she poisons him.
Yeah,
and then she poisons.
She becomes like a servant in their house, and then she poisons him slowly over time. And at the in that era, they were like, wow, you just keep shitting blood, so you must have stomach cancer.
Yeah.
And so I think that slowly killing him gave her an immense feeling of satisfaction, and I guess ultimately that's kind of what started it off.
Well, supposedly, but it's. I can see why she would get satisfaction considering what she had to live through, right? But she'd always been at the whims of others, mother, father, society, this guy taking advantage of her. And this is the first time she ever controlled her or exercised her own power. So that had to be a heady mix too.
Sure.
Yeah, but I think mostly it was the murder.
Well, yeah. But
I think that was it.
In the author's notes, was it the author's notes?
Yeah.
About the dog being tied to a pole or the fence?
No, that was just part of the book.
That was part of the book.
That was one of the things that the sister went on and on.
Okay. So Belle, this wasn't the first time Belle had done something that would be considered antisocial.
You mean killing the guy?
Killing the guy, right.
So the guy that beat her?
She started with, small dogs, So I found it fascinating with what little information we know about Belle Guinness, how this author tried to do a reasonable job of bringing this character to life. I really have to give her props for that. It couldn't have been easy. And it's got to be a tightrope between, not everybody is all bad, not everybody is all good,
She was all bad, though. I mean, seriously, she had not a single redeeming quality.
I mean, that's the thing, right? When I said this book really could have been good, because we started from a place where, she's a very, you could definitely sympathize with her.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
She's a sympathetic character. Terrible things happen to her, and she's treated awfully.
I didn't feel bad when she murdered that dude who almost killed
not.
her and busted up her jaw and shit. I wish she would have killed her dad.
Yeah, he was a son of a bitch too.
Yeah.
Right.
But
ultimately she ends up, as the book goes on, she's just a terrible person.
She is. She's a fucking crazy
I'm not
bitch.
she's not a terrible person, but there are parts like she does like kids.
Until she killed them all.
Until she's killing them.
Yes,
like
I
that,
know. That's something completely different. I'm just saying.
Not really. No, it's not.
That's
no, it's
really
not. No,
where it started to lose me in a major way, right? I mean, like she's going out of her way to get all these foster kids because she loves them or whatever. And she is basically using this mobster to get them, right?
Yeah.
She's not going through the orphanage. She's takes up with this guy who provides her with children of mistresses of wealthy men or children of convicts
Or prostitutes. Yeah.
right and so she gets paid to raise these kids, and then she just keeps talking about, I treat them like they're my own.
Well,
so
she does kill a few of them. There's no doubt about it.
She did care about the kids, and she, according to, and here's, okay, this is where Andy and I are we're gonna differ. I don't appreciate all the shit that the author made up. Like, here's the only notes that I wrote. Did any of this actually happen? Is there any proof that she never had any of those kids? I watched a couple of documentaries.
Was with her first husband, you mean?
When she's so she wears this padding and passes these kids off as her own. I didn't see anything about that anywhere else.
Well, nobody would know that. Where
did that come from?
Nobody would know that.
That's the perfect reason you pick a murderer from the 19th century, because you're able to make suppositions or
that whole fucking storyline that pissed me off. I mean, it was just like, okay, if she did it, okay, but if she did it, why the fuck go there? So the author says, I'm sure that my husband knew that I'm wearing this padding, but he was just kind of like, well, I guess we'll see what happens. Really? Come on. Like, she legitimately almost word for word said that. He surely knows, but he must just want to see what's going to happen next.
I assume that she said that because they were not having sex.
Yeah.
I don't know what other way he would know, right?
But what is the point of having...
By that time, she's slowly poisoning him as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So in between killing men that she sleeps with, she also discovers this penchant for insurance fraud.
Yeah, that seems to be like the best thing going. Did you get far enough to read about her newer enterprise with what's it, James Lee,
the confectionery store?
Yeah.
No.
Where they bone in the back room.
No, further than that.
Okay.
Where he begins to send. This is when she's at the farm. On the farm in La Porte, where he's sending her bodies in crates on the fucking train to hack up,
chopping them up and giving them up and
burying them. No, she's just burying them in the ground.
Yeah, some of the
some of them she did.
Yeah.
So here's what I want. This is what I wanted this book to be. I wanted it to be about her being, a psychopath, talking about her crimes, and talking about the people who actually disappeared. I didn't want some sappy bullshit about, the sister who clearly knows exactly what's going on. Even to the point where the author has the sister confront her and say, okay, I'm not going to turn you in, but don't kill any more of your children. I mean, that one child wasn't, that was the tipping point. And she even says, I could overlook the murdering of your husband. The men, I don't care. I can overlook that. But you killed Jenny. So now you got to stop. And what's the first thing that Belle does? I should probably kill my sister.
The thought crossed her mind.
I mean, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want poor Nellie talking about how horrible it all is and how nice all these men were. I don't want any of that. I wanted to talk about the murders, the case, not how do you love a serial killer. So I'm kind of pissed off about the whole thing. I really felt like it was a waste of time. That, and in the author's note, that actually made me feel even worse about it, because she just goes on to say, I just made up all this shit. And even stuff that we knew that has been proven lies, I just kept it in there. And James Lee, he didn't actually have anything to do with any of this, but I'm pretty sure that there was a dude that was sending them to her.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, I just made all that stuff up.
Yeah, she did. Well,
like, fuck, man.
It's definitely a work of fiction with the.
I know, but why even bother? Why even bother having it to, you know?
When you decided to look at this book as a viable, did you look to see if it was like true crime or was it fiction or?
I knew it was a novelization, but I guess I expected more of it to be based on the real thing, outside of just where she was born, where she moved, and her name, and a handful of actual people that were involved in either the perpetrating of the crime or the victims. I mean, she had shit tons of bodies on her land.
Yeah, even that dude who tried to accost her that she stabbed didn't exist in real life.
Oh yeah, I mean, it just
with scissors. You mean?
Yeah, scissor man.
I guess I wanted more real, less fiction.
I understand, but there's not going to be a whole lot there because the case is so old.
Yeah, there's just a limitation, right? And with somebody who is burning down their house and burning down their business for insurance, there's not going to be a lot of lasting evidence. Like, you're not going to find dresses that have padding because everything's been burned to ash.
Yeah, I guess I just, when I started, I didn't realize that there was so little until I think it was Thursday. And that's when I was like, this all seems really bullshitty. Did this happen? So that's when I went to YouTube and watched a few.
So if this had been just full on fiction, not based on anyone,
I would not have liked it.
Would you even have picked it up to read?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe not with the. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me look at that blurb again, because I don't know. Even that seems kind of over the top. I think, again, if I'm looking to read a book about a serial killer, I want to know more about the crime. I want it to be focused on the crime, the perpetrator, and the victims. I don't care about a sister trying to reconcile. It's like that one that we read with the guy who thought that his dad was the Zodiac killer, and he had absolutely no proof whatsoever. And it was just like, it
was just like one long fever dream.
Yeah. For me, this would kind of fit in that same kind of category. I want some facts mixed in.
Yeah, I mean, to me, what I was expecting and what I was disappointed wasn't there was you have an era where women are just treated like chattel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This would be a perfect opportunity for a woman serial killer to kill a lot of men who may have had it coming.
Yeah, none of these guys did. She was
it's like, these are all, well, I mean, other than the first guy, and Scissor Man, who doesn't die.
Who doesn't exist.
Right.
But,
You know, these are all like nice, stable men who, you know, think
wanted
that
a family.
she is a nice, stable woman. And yeah. So that, to me, that was the biggest missed opportunity.
Yeah, you're right. And especially, I guess, since she's making all this shit up anyway and doesn't know who the victims really were, she totally could have done that. But instead, she turned it into something that just really put. I mean, maybe Belle wasn't just some, crazed, you know, some woman who was addicted to murder, because that's how she paints it. She gets like this almost this sexual rush from
and
from murdering.
That's a very serial killery thing.
Right.
So it's like the author took what we know about serial killers today, which is a very new concept, right? I don't think that serial killers were even serial killers until the mid 20th century, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't even a term. So taking the knowledge that we've gleaned in the last 60 years and applying it to this woman from the turn of the 19th century, I don't know. It just didn't really work for me.
Yeah.
They're not all winners, y'all.
Well, I kind of need somebody to be sympathetic for me to continue.
I was wondering about that.
Even the sister, like, that was not doing it for me.
Listen,
I mean,
you read Gone Girl. Come on, man.
And I stopped through
She
there.
Didn't finish reading
that.
No, that's when I learned my lesson. Yeah,
if you recall, yeah.
And I thought about
it. It has to be able to pass the bus off a cliff test. If I reach a point where I just want them all to get on a bus and drive off a cliff, I'm done. So in my mind, these people all traveled in time and got to a bus, got on, and the book ended for me because they all went off the cliff.
Oh, wow.
That would have been a better ending, I think.
It really would have. You would not have seen it coming.
No, you sure as hell wouldn't have.
No, you wouldn't have.
There's no way.
She does like just barely touch on the possibility that to talk about the rumor of what was that chick's name? Esther somebody? I don't remember. But
Belle Guinness?
No. So after Belle Guinness burnt down her house.
The chicken, was it Los Angeles?
In California, yeah.
Yeah. That 7 years later, they had her on trial for murder, and there was lots of folks were hypothesizing that she was actually Belle Guinness because the body that they found on the farm, they assumed was Belle Guinness because of some bridge work, I think, that they found in the dirt.
Yeah, which wasn't burned up from one of the documentary little things I watched on YouTube. So it was kind of like she's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, right.
And then takes off.
Yeah, and then the little bit of thing of like her head was missing.
Right.
So it's like,
and she was too short.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, the woman was a little too short, and the head was missing, even though there was some bridge work. But
and I say that happens, and I'm going to take us totally off topic. So when you guys watch TV and you see those commercials for prescription drugs that you can't pronounce,
right?
Mm-hmm. Have you noticed that it no longer talks about side effects include blah 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 blah? It's like
they don't have to do that anymore.
No, they do, but they've changed how they word it so that it's like, exploding craniums have happened.
Oh, okay.
Have happened. So they don't even call them side effects anymore. Like they try and draw as little correlation between the fact that you're taking this, expensive, probably not sufficiently tested drug. And then all of a sudden, all your skin peeled off. Peeling off has happened.
Yeah.
Intestines falling out through your anus has
happened. So
crazy.
now whenever I hear happened, I just immediately go there, and it's like, yep, toes just dropping off your feet.
You need to
has
have
happened.
Laura go through that in the creepy man voice from the
Hi there, Belle. Hi.
That's so good. Falling off toes has happened.
But be sure to consult with your doctor to make sure.
Right. No, you got to just be sure
Yeah.
to consult with your doctor.
You bring in your sack of unattached toes. I mean, it's probably not related. It's probably something else.
Yeah, it's probably something.
Totally.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
isn't the commercials that advertise for medication, isn't that kind of like a phenomenon that's only really in the U.S.?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, when I think we're all round about the same age.
Roundabout.
Yep.
Those didn't exist. Right? Instead, they sold cigarettes on TV, which they haven't done in decades.
Right.
And they would have beer commercials where everybody would sit around and drink and that stuff. And I guess they sold some liquor, right? Because I remember.
Oh, yeah.
What's the one?
I saw Labatt's commercial. I watched a bunch of old commercials. I think it was on Netflix.
Harvey's Bristol Cream.
That's
yes.
Bristol Cream.
And Unity on ice.
That lady was ready to get down in the Harvey's Bristol Cream ad.
Oh my God. And the plethora of Folgers coffee commercials.
Yeah.
You know, the man's always insulting his wife. Well, you make a harsh cup of coffee. She's like, well, that's harsh. Well, so's your coffee. You know, it's like. And of course, there's that crotchety woman that comes in like, you know, some creepy stalker, and she carries a jar of Folgers for everywhere she goes. Like,
don't you?
Oh no.
I mean, that happens.
Yeah.
But every time I hear Folgers, I think of poor Abigail Folger, and
yeah.
I can't not make that correlation anymore. Even when I see that damn coffee on the shelf when I go to the grocery store, I'm like, oh,
I think you have a problem.
I think I do too.
I don't know. Maybe we might need to hold an intervention. So hold on. So Andy, I feel like you like the book a lot more than either of us did.
Probably more than either of you, but I think it's still.
And maybe more than both of us combined.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I really did not like it at all. I had high hopes.
Yeah, I think I did too. And maybe that's the problem, right? I think when you come in and you're kind of expecting like, wow, okay, this might stink. You give it a lot more leeway than when you come in with high hopes and it's like, oh, these people are dreadful.
Yeah, she was so bad. I mean, I tried to give her.
You mean the author or the narrator?
Both.
Oh,
I mean, I wasn't really talking about the author as much as I was talking about the characters themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. The narrators really didn't do any favors to the.
Yeah, they really detracted from the story. And I think the pacing was, clearly I'm not a novelist, but I think the pacing was a little bit off. It's been sped up a bit. But I thought it was pretty ambitious for that author to, try and weave a story about someone and how they got to point A to point B. I really think she did an admirable job trying to do that. Was it perfect? No. But it was inventive. That part I appreciated.
Well, there you go. I don't agree with any of that, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm glad that maybe it was me for a lot of that because, Colette and I, we didn't particularly like it, but I think we didn't like different things. Like you're Colette, like you were able to give her a lot more leeway when it came to the story that she wove, whether it was, took advantage of the opportunities to go much more of a woman wronged, cleaning up some nasty guys.
Well,
I
think I was also kind of expecting, a really cunning and inventive kind of storyline where I was like, wow, that was smart. I did not see that coming. Like, none of that. It's just like, and then I opened a store and I burned it to the ground. And then I went home and I burned it to the ground. It's like, okay. I mean, I guess when you get something that's working for you, you stick with it. But yeah. It just, so then when shit got old and, she had done everything like 4 times, she'd killed 4 people and burned 4 places or however many it was. She's like, I gotta move. I gotta go somewhere new where I can kill more guys and burn more houses.
Right, because her reputation was a little iffy by that point.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Was just, it was not the intriguing story that I had hoped that it would be.
Yes.
All right, well, sometimes these things happen.
Well, and again, I did not know anything about this particular historical figure.
Yeah.
So I was kind of coming in blind. I thought, that blurb that you read really talks about how this woman has been wronged and she's so full of spite that she just turns into this killer because she is going to make her way in the world. And I'm like, well, that sounds really intriguing. But
but she was only wrong that one time.
And everybody else just was boring to her. So she killed them or she burned down their house or both.
And even the dude that she stabbed with the scissors probably didn't, if he existed, probably didn't actually deserve to be stabbed with scissors. Maybe just kicked in the nuts and being told, I said no. And then he probably just would have left. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, he was just a standard,
victim.
young dude who was like, you got my dick hard. Now you're saying no. I feel like maybe you want to reconsider. And she was like, I said no, stab. Or just the one stab.
Yeah, because I think they stayed in him, which I thought that was fine. Right? I had no problems with that part of the story. But then all the women in the area are like,
that was kind of fucked up.
What you did was wrong. I mean, he probably needed a stern talking to,
and you need to get married, so it could have worked out for you.
Yeah, you should have just let him rape you. I mean, it's really.
But after that one dude, so you got 2 dudes. One she killed, who I am totally 100% fine with her killing that dude because he was
awful,
a piece of shit, and deserved. As far as I'm concerned, he deserved it.
Yep.
The other dude, okay, you stab him in the leg, it's fine, but not a single other person fucked her over. There were no other dudes that bothered her. The man that she married wanted to provide for her. They were together for what, 15, 16 years, some shit like that.
It just kind of boiled down to the fact that she wanted more, right? She wanted men who were advancing in their careers and were earning more money. And she was filling her larder with meats that they could barely afford that would just go bad. Because, she had a picture of what she wanted to be. And, well, this guy's not able to give it to me. So
there were a few times. Yeah, there were a few times where, she said things like, I don't like, once she got to the farm, then it was just murder. And she was like, I don't want to have a man.
Known as the murder farm.
Right.
It seemed to be the main crop that they raised.
I don't think they grew anything else.
Just
was there ever a mention, Andy, of what they might have grown? There were some chickens.
Well,
and some pigs and cows.
He was a butcher.
Right.
Right.
But I
So
mean,
they had all these animals that
Right.
they raised
Okay.
and that he butchered to sell.
so so she's got the one husband who treats her really well and tries to do right by her, and she's running him into the ground financially, and then she just bitches at him because he doesn't earn more.
Throws
You
shit
know?
at him. Well, I mean, he really
Yeah,
was.
like
He was battered. He was
yeah,
a
like
battered
he goes over to her sister's house and says, "What can I do to make her stop being so fucking awful to me?" And he's got a black eye and his face is all bruised up. And
the
so,
sister's like, "Oh yeah, nothing. No, she's just
she gets really mad.
her ass."
Yeah. Sorry. And then, he gets to the point where he's like, I'm not eating anything that you bring me unless you taste it first. So she figures out how to make him pick the food that she wants him. And then when she gets to the farm, then it's just injecting oranges with poison. And you didn't get this far, Colette, but that's how her kids die. And she tells them, no, you can't have any of those goddamn oranges. She's got them set up to murder this dude who just showed up. And the kids are like, well, what if we eat our porridge, Mama? We're so hungry. And she says, I didn't answer because I thought maybe it would be best to give them hope. So she goes back in after dinner to get the oranges, but all of her kids are dead. And one of them is still kind of holding on. And she's like, you shouldn't have eaten the damn oranges. And the little girl says, but Mama, you said we could have them after we ate our porridge. I said no such thing. And then her kids all die.
This sounds like a biblical parable to me.
Yeah, right? You don't obey your parents, you shall die from poison oranges. Yeah, I don't know. And then so after her kids die, and she did feel, some regret over. Did you get to her killing Jenny?
I got to the part where she kind of killed her new husband's child.
With the meat grinder?
No. Her stepdaughter. Remember? She killed her.
Yeah.
And was like, yeah, I mean, children die.
Yeah, that was awful.
Hell?
I mean, suck
yeah.
it up. Kids die all the time. What are you so upset about?
Yeah, you've got other kids. I mean, it was really... that's kind of where I reached the point where I was like, I officially don't give a shit about any of these people.
Oh, yeah. Then she killed that husband.
Right. I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
he was upset with her and was concerned that she had murdered his child from a former marriage.
Yeah.
And it's never really proven one way or the other. Right. Because she loves talking about insurance. She's all about insurance and is insuring these foster kids that she's getting, so when the first kid dies, the one that gets a fever.
Yeah. I don't think she had any.
Well, I mean, she's like, oh, and I was sad because but the first thing that he tells her when he hands her the baby, make sure you get insurance.
Oh, yes.
And I was never able to get that out of my head. And then the kid dies, and it's like, oh.
That comes up later too. After she makes it a condition of marriage for this one dude who like the farmhand that she decides, she goes, oh, I'm getting tired of searching men out. Maybe I'll just take this lowly farmhand. I mean, he's good in the sack.
She's pretty wealthy.
So she's loaded.
She's killed a lot of people and burned many things to the ground.
Yeah. And her first husband, he conveniently died on the day when two separate insurance policies overlap. it was just a coincidence.
Sure.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
It happens.
So, yeah. So she was super loaded. She's loaded. So she tells the farmhand, cool dude, I'll marry you. But as a gift to me, you need to go get life insurance. Because if you die, I'm going to need some help. So as a token of your love for me, go get some life insurance. And he says, cool, baby, cool, baby, cool, baby. I'll go get that life insurance. But he never does. So she kicks his ass out. And then...
But doesn't kill him.
She doesn't.
He clearly cracked the code.
Exactly.
He got away alive.
Exactly. And then, so then she moves this other dude in who, and she's just so fucking, I can't even, yeah, I get it. She's bad. She's awful. But it was just so over the top. Like, just everything had to do with insurance and money and how much she hated all these dudes. And all she wanted to do was get laid and have them then be murdered for their dough. Like, she would tell them, sell all your shit, sew your money in your clothes. Don't tell anybody you're coming here.
Yeah, that was from the murder farm, y'all, in case you haven't.
Yeah, that was on the murder farm. And then, so when the dudes didn't follow her directions, like, brothers kept showing up on her door like,
where's my brother, man?
Where's my brother, bitch? He said he was coming here. And she's like, I don't know where your brother's at. He was here and he's gone. He went to Oregon. He went to California. He was going to invest some stuff. I don't know. The police show up. What day did so-and-so go? I don't keep track of days. I'm busy on the farm. Just like, wow. I can't.
Yes, look at my farm and it's just mud. Like, she's not growing anything.
Fucking skeletons, little hands sticking up.
That would make a hell of a scarecrow. Just a skeleton staked out in a field of mud.
But you know, interesting in the author's note, that's almost what happened after they figured out that this was a body farm. That
it was
come from all around to like spectate and
what they say
and lunches after seeing these corpses and stuff. I'm like,
yeah, but people did that kind of stuff.
People do that kind of stuff now if they can.
That's true, but if you look at the history of lynching, people used to pack a picnic lunch and go and watch that.
Yeah.
Well,
look at French Revolution. Those guillotines were a hot event, I gotta tell you.
That's true. Yeah.
So basically the conclusion is that we are terrible as a species.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
true. We're human monsters.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh God. So okay, so
I hope you enjoyed catching us on this show. So you'll need a drink after this. And
I think the books that we don't like or have serious issues with, I think those are the shows that are the funniest. I think those are the ones that are the best.
Probably.
Well, to me, those are the best.
They're fun. They're fun for sure.
Knowing that I was going to be able to get together with the two of you and talk about this is the only thing that kept me going. I got to write a review for NetGalley, and I'm really sorry, but I did not care.
Just give them a link to this show.
Well, I will post that too, because it's fine. Yeah, but I think talking with you guys about it has helped. I would rate it a little higher than I would have.
Really?
Because I feel like maybe I'm being harder on it because I wanted more realism.
Your expectation was not met, so I can understand that it was
but
very disappointing because of that.
Yeah, but talking with the two of you, it's like, well, it was fiction, and she was totally able to take license with it. There's some aspects of it that I'm not giving a pass to, like the whole sister shit. I didn't care about any of that. That was
that might be the narrator though.
No, I don't
Yes
care
and
about the
no.
sister.
You don't
Yeah,
think
I
so?
mean, because I don't think that the sister and she were actually close in real life.
No, they weren't, according to and she
So,
talks about that in the author.
yeah, I
So
think
all of that is made up.
I think this well, but I mean, I get why she would do it, right? Because the sister, I mean, you have to have characters that the main character can speak to, right?
That's why she said that she had the James Lee character, because she needed somebody who she could openly talk to about her crimes. With the sister,
Yeah.
she doesn't really do that. With the sister, she said she was trying to show what it would be like to love someone in a non-romantic way, in a familial way, who was a serial killer.
Well, and I mean, that is an interesting prospect. If I felt like that, I mean, and maybe I'm not giving it a chance because I didn't read the whole thing, but I don't know that I necessarily felt like that's what was happening.
No, the sister. No, I don't think so at all. The sister didn't. I mean, the closest that I feel like the sister got to loving Belle was that she felt bad. She felt guilt. She felt guilt for leaving her there in Norway when she left. And she just kept flashing back to that dog thing where the dog was trying to attack her. And you know how little Belle, or whatever the fuck her name had been.
Little Brunhild.
Yeah, little Brunhild.
Because she was big Brunhild. What does that mean? Why do people in the family have the same name? Is it a term of endearment? What does it mean?
They were poor. They could only afford
one name.
The one name. Well, she was, that daughter was gone. I mean, she was older. I don't know. That was something else. But, she mostly was just afraid of her. And warned people to stay away.
Undercurrent of fear the whole time. Yeah.
It's kind of like, have either of you guys read any novelizations about Lizzie Borden? Right?
Yeah,
Same era.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
So I think it would probably have the same sort of obstacles where you would be hard pressed to be able to fill in a lot of gaps.
Not necessarily, not with Lizzie. I mean, I understand the parallel, but there was a lot more information about Lizzie because of the testimonies in trial.
Okay, well that's fair. Plus, it was really just kind of the one day.
Yes, the one event
in question. So,
and this went on for decades.
Right. And we don't know what actually happened versus what was alleged versus what was just sort of a plot point.
Exactly. And what's really interesting along the lines of Lizzie Borden in juxtaposition to this story, if you haven't watched the Lizzie Borden Chronicles, they were a lot of damn fun.
I know you were going on about those when you were watching.
They were a lot of fun, honestly.
Okay, so what is that?
Well, it was a one-season series with Christina Ricci as Lizzie Borden and what her life was like.
Good casting.
After she was acquitted of the murders when they moved from the house on 3rd Street or whatever the hell it was to the house up on the hill in Maplecroft, because she always wanted to live on the hill because that's where, that's where the rich folks lived, and they were rich, but her dad was very frugal. And the stories that take place from that point are how she eliminates people that are a threat or competition for her. And it's almost like a Belle Guinness situation with but it's fun. It's not like this book.
And it's complete fiction.
It's complete fiction. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun to watch.
The only thing that I've ever watched about Lizzie Borden, I think, is the movie with Chloe Sevigny and
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I saw one
enjoyed it.
that I feel like was made for TV that had Elizabeth Montgomery in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I didn't watch it, but I remember it.
Because I feel like that was the first thing that I ever saw on TV that actually acknowledged menstruation.
For me, I believe that was
there was a scene where she's on the stand testifying, and they're like, well, we found this dress and it's got your blood. And she's like, yeah, I had my period. And he's like, oh.
That's like kryptonite for men talking about periods. Like,
Well, yeah, but I mean, that was that. Like, it was handled. That was
yeah, that was
whole.
right,
He's
right,
like,
right.
I'm going in for the kill. Oh,
What did
no
Mr.
further
Han-
questions.
what did Mr. Hand say on South Park? He doesn't trust something that bleeds for 7 days and doesn't die.
Yeah. For me, I think my first menstrual thing was Carrie. Plug it up. Yeah. So that.
That was a
mine.
fun one.
Yeah, that was super fun. Like that wouldn't scar you for the rest of your damn life. If that happened in real life for serious shit. Wow.
Oh yeah. Well, that was fun. We had a good time. So I don't know. I don't recommend it. I recommend just watch some shit. I don't know.
Watch Lizzie Borden Chronicles. You'll have more fun.
Or go to Wikipedia and see what they say.
Or YouTube.
Because we've all learned that everything on Wikipedia is true.
Wait a minute. Did you see how she got rid of at least 2 of her bodies by tossing them in the East River?
You know, I'm never gonna let that go, are you?
That is a callback to like episode 11.
Evil.
I don't know that anybody's gonna get that besides us.
That was the Alienist, wasn't it?
That was the holiday show with the Alienist.
Yeah.
Andy decided that Wikipedia is the.
No, I just said I looked it up on Wikipedia, and then Miss Thing over there is like, "Wow, that's trustworthy information." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Well, I'm just saying, anybody can go on Wikipedia and write any effing thing.
I feel like I'm going to head over there right now.
I
don't even remember who was it.
It was just something interesting.
It was Jack Kerouac's dad and Henry Ford.
Who was it that was supposedly referenced in that article? Who threw? I'm asking like legitimately. I don't remember.
I don't either.
I remember mocking the story. But I don't remember what the story was.
Oh my god! Right? Yeah.
It was
Jack Kerouac.
Caleb Carr's dad,
right?
And Jack Kerouac
whacked a hobo and threw him out into the East River. Right? Is that what it was? They killed a hobo.
Sounds that right? No, I don't think his dad did. I think Kerouac did. Right? And he helped Kerouac get rid of the body. Wasn't that the story?
It could have been anything. I don't remember. No, it was Caleb Carr's dad and Eleanor Roosevelt.
Okay.
Whatever it was, it sounded not remotely credible.
You know, there's a movie coming out of that Eleanor Roosevelt.
What?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It took advantage of her super secret love affair with that chick she was.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's a biopic or it's a documentary?
No. I think it's a biopic.
100%.
I saw it in passing. I was doing something else. I went, what? But yeah.
Did they say who's playing her?
They did. I don't remember.
Okay.
Christina Ricci and Elizabeth Montgomery.
Nah, it's probably like, Meryl Streep. She always does those challenging roles, doesn't she?
Yeah. I guess she could do it because she can do pretty much anything.
Meryl Streep, she can do anything.
I would not choose her to be Eleanor Roosevelt.
No, I wouldn't either.
So, Colette had brought up a book. We haven't talked to Andy about it.
Oh, right.
It's called The Seven. I keep hearing about this book all over the place. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn.
Somebody.
Should we talk about this offline since we're a little over time?
The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Aging and reclusive Hollywood movie icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. Oh, there must be some lesbians in here.
Oh, maybe. I'm not sure about that. But apparently it's based on a number of Hollywood starlets from the 30s and 40s.
Oh, she's LGBTQ
like
has been tagged.
Oh, cool. So she's like an amalgam of some starlets, right? She's got a little Ava Gardner and a little Elizabeth Taylor and a little,
Barbara Stan's.
Yeah, I don't think she gets decapitated, but maybe a little Barbara Stanwyck, and that maybe that's where the LGBTQ plus comes
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Little Kate Hepburn. All right.
Do the kids do that nowadays?
Well, what was the thing that there was some Republican congresswoman who, maybe it wasn't a congresswoman. Maybe, I guess it was Candace Owens was going back and forth with, was it Megan Thee Stallion? I can't remember anymore because I'm very old and I barely know who these people are.
But anyway, to avoid Candace
there
Owens.
was some back and forth thing on Twitter, and I don't know, it could have been Cardi B. There was.
Oh, are you talking? Oh, yeah, Cardi B. Yeah, that was just that was just like today or yesterday, right?
It was pretty recent, like in the last week.
She was on Tucker Carlson.
But Candace Owens said something about how lesbians are just gonna pop their vaginas in each other, and I'm like, somebody really needs to pull her aside and explain anatomy and how stuff works. Because I don't know what that is.
Clearly, I've been doing this wrong the entire time.
Right? Yeah.
And on that
note. All right. Well, I'm down for that book.
All right. Well, we can decide. But
Andy doesn't want to commit.
I am. When you say goodbye to everybody,
the hesitation.
We can slip into that offline.
All right. Well, we'll post on the Cocktail Hour Facebook page what the next book will be. So you'll find out if we get our way or if Andy wins and we're reading something gruesome and awful.
What? Come on, man. Yeah, we'll tell you the day or the day before our next show.
All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye.